Hi everyone, this is Laura Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and in today's video I will share my summary and takeaways from the book Indistractable: How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life by Nir Eyal. For my book summaries, I usually follow a template. First I do an overview, then I talk about the structure of the book, I give my recommendation, and then I share 5 to 10 takeaways that were either surprising or interesting information that I learned. First, an overview. So this is a book written by a guy named Nir Eyal. I have been following his blog Near and Far, Nir is spelled like his name, for a while. His tagline is science-backed strategies for designing healthy habits your customers will love. So I don't really have customers per se, but I'm very interested in habit formation and retention. The author, who taught at Stanford's business school, wrote a book called Hooked, which was geared towards business owners who wanted to build habit-forming products, like Minecraft, Fortnite, Twitter, Facebook. So this book is about how you can hack back against those insidious tech and other distractions in your life and regain your ability to focus, get things done, and meet your goals. Although the audience of his first book was business executives, product managers, and entrepreneurs, this book is geared towards consumers like you and me. So the point of this book is that modern life is riddled with distractions, many of which come from tech products using the principles from the author's first book. He defines traction as anything that gets you closer to your goals. In contrast, distraction is anything that pulls you farther away from your goals. So in order to be indistractable, he encourages us to actively push back using his model by dealing with internal and external triggers, planning your time, and creating pacts. Structure. So first he provides an overview of traction and distraction. Then he follows this diagram and starts with mastering internal triggers. So I found this the most interesting part of the book, and I'm going to go into some of those specifics in the takeaways section. Then he discusses how to make time for traction using time boxing, how to hack back against external triggers using a variety of technology and behavioral tools, and then how to combat distraction using pacts with yourself. Finally, he addresses how to reduce distractions in 3 common areas: workplaces, parenting, and relationships. So would I recommend this book? I really like this book. It's easy to read, it references a lot of great studies, it gives good examples, and it provides usable recommendations on how to structure your life to spend more time meeting your goals and less time avoiding them. So now let's get to the takeaways. Number 1, traction versus distraction. So I know I mentioned this before, but this idea is significant to me. That traction, based on the same Latin root as tractor, is anything that pulls you closer to your goals, and then distraction is anything that pulls you away from them. So it's impossible to know whether you are distracted unless you also know what your goals are. For example, if your goal is to stay in better touch with your friends from childhood, maybe scrolling social media is traction rather than distraction. Number 2, time management is pain management. Eyal posits that the root cause of all of our behavior is to escape discomfort. So distraction is simply an escape from some kind of discomfort. He makes the point that if you want to manage your time better, you have to manage your emotional anxiety, pain, or discomfort. He says time management is pain management. Number 3, dissatisfaction is adaptive. So it makes sense evolutionarily that we aren't innately too happy and content. After all, dissatisfaction drives change, advancement, and progress. Eyal cites 4 negative tendencies that keep us perpetually dissatisfied: boredom avoidance, negativity bias, rumination, and hedonic adaptation. Number 4, we hate boredom. I love this 2014 study that he cites. Study participants were asked to sit in an empty room and just think for 15 minutes. The only thing in the room is a machine that will give you a painful electric shock. And what percentage of people do you think literally shocked themselves rather than sit by themselves doing nothing? Before I tell you, I think it's crazy that this number is more than 0, and I think the gender disparity is fascinating. The percentage of women who shock themselves is 25%. The percentage of men is a whopping 67%. Insanity. We would so much rather do than be, even when doing requires you to literally cause yourself pain. Number 5, suppressing thoughts makes them worse. Another great study shows that trying to suppress a thought for the first 5 minutes not only makes you recall the thought every minute or so, but also causes it to rebound and occur to you even more and more intensely afterwards. Number 6, surf the urge. So rather than give in to distraction, experts suggest that we surf the urge, or we notice the way we feel, don't act on it, but just feel it and ride those sensations like a wave until they subside. Number 7, email and chat tips. So he provides a lot of really solid techniques for removing external triggers that promote distractions. For email, in order to spend the least amount of time possible on each response, he suggests that the most important thing about an email is when you need to reply. So the first time he touches an email that requires a response, he will file it in a folder for today or for this week. Then he blocks off time for emails that need a response today and those that need a response sometime this week. For real-time chats like text chains or Slack, he proposes a sauna technique. Get in and get out quick and don't stay all day. Number 8, prepare for meetings. So he suggests in order to make the best use of everyone's time, whoever proposes the meeting should also be required to prepare an agenda that sets out what decisions need to be made and to supply a briefing document that presents the details of possible options. Brainstorming meetings should never have more than 2 people involved. 2. Number 9, types of pacts. So pacts are one way to hold your future self accountable for the things that you want to do now. They are agreements with bite. Pre-commitments are future pacts that might make it harder to get out of later. So an example of a pre-commitment is an advanced healthcare directive that spells out the decisions that we want our doctors to make if we aren't able to make them. An effort pact is an agreement that also makes breaking that agreement take a little bit of effort, which gives us a little time to reconsider. So I have a client who every night deletes his social media apps, all of them. And that way it takes more effort the next time he wants to use them since he has to reinstall them again. A price pact is an agreement that you will lose money if you break your promise. The author taped a fresh $100 bill to his calendar on each date he wanted to go to the gym. On those days, he had a choice. He could burn the $100 bill or he could go to the gym. And finally, an identity pact is an agreement to maintain a certain image and the characteristics that go along with that. People who consider themselves voters, for example, are much more likely to vote than those who just said that they wanted to vote. And finally, number 10, workplace depression. So the final takeaway is a study that found 2 factors that predicted higher rates of depression amongst employees. The first is high job strain or having high expectations, but very little control of outcomes. The second is an effort-reward imbalance, which occurs when workers don't see any reward for their efforts, either in the form of higher pay or more recognition. Both of these factors for depression hinge on a lack of control. So I found this book to be insightful and chock full of great research and examples. How we deal with triggers, both internal and external, and the kinds of future agreements that we make with ourselves and others can really help to lessen distractions and allow us to use our attention to help us meet our goals. I'd love to know what you think. Comments are always appreciated, and thanks for watching.